Hello everybody, welcome to a very special junk journal with me, which is a collaboration and YouTube hop organised by the lovely Meg Journals for Junk Journal July. There are 8 journaling YouTubers taking part, and with every video will be a link to the next person in the hop, so make sure you follow the link to the next person. And if you have come to this video from the hop and are new to my channel, hello and welcome. My name is Grace, aka ms.paperlover. I don't just do junk journaling, I also do other forms of memory keeping, creative journaling, and mixed media and art journaling and a little bit of card making and all sorts of things like that. So if that's something you think you might be interested in, then please hit that subscribe button. Just a little side note as well, I happen to be starting in a new journal in this video too, so I was just showing you a quick flip through first just so you could see it. But yes, so Junk Journal July, if you're unfamiliar, is a month-long challenge with a prompt every day to inspire you for creating in your own junk journal. I will leave a link in the description to the prompt list for you to check out. And so to kick off Junk Journal July this year, the 8 YouTubers, we are each sharing a video with our favourite tips and tricks for junk journaling. So for my part, I'm going to be making a couple of journal spreads in the background, and what I say isn't necessarily going to match what is going on in the video. But saying that, the first thing I wanted to talk about is the fear of starting, or the fear of a blank page, the fear of starting in a new journal. It's a really common problem with all hobbies like this, you know, journaling to art and all those kind of things, even just keeping a diary. There's this mindset where people worry about ruining it or messing it up with their creations. You know, it's a beautiful new notebook, it's a beautiful new junk journal that either you've made or you've had made for you, and you worry that you're going to mess it up with your creations. As an example, my uncle runs an art school and he often gets his new students to go through their sketchbook and do something on every single page. You know, splash paint on it, just make a mark with charcoal, you know, whatever. But then there are no blank pages to be afraid of. And I think that's part of the beauty of junk journaling, as so many pages are already kind of started for you because they're made of something else, whether it's book pages or patterned papers or magazine pages, you know, whatever it is, they are started for you. But then even with plain pages or plain paper, like if you prefer to work in a pre-made notebook or something, I think also the mentality of junk journaling helps with the blank page fear, because, you know, it's a junk journal. Short of dropping it in a river or setting fire to it, and please don't do that, but there's no way to mess it up. I mean, obviously, I think personally this applies to anything really, art journaling, creative journaling, scrapbooking, whatever. But if the junk journal mindset helps you with the fear of the blank page, then that's perfect. And it may help you in other crafts and journaling as well. You get that practice of breaking the blank page, as it's called. And then going on from that, there is absolutely no right or wrong in your journal. You decide what makes a journal page and nobody else. If all you do is put pen to paper, then congratulations, you have a journal page. You add a sticker to it, it's still a journal page. You add washi tape and collage and rub-ons and book pages and more stickers and all the things, but no writing at all, then also congratulations, you still have a journal page. Your journal is an expression of you. And if you want to express yourself with stickers rather than words, then that's cool. But if writing is something that you do struggle with and you want to write in your journal, then I will talk about that a little bit later on in the video. But first, it's controversial opinion time. Here it is. It is okay to use stuff that isn't junk in your junk journal. People disagree with me on this, but I hate junk journal gatekeeping and I'll have absolutely no part in it. You are allowed to buy ephemera, you are allowed to buy stickers, and you do whatever the hell you want. And likewise, it's also okay to not buy anything at all. If you see someone on Instagram with a huge sticker stash or a massive washi collection, which yes, I am guilty of having, it doesn't mean that you have to buy that too. I do worry because I have an Etsy shop that I'll be accused of encouraging people to buy things, but I'll just as much encourage someone to not buy anything at all and use whatever they have lying around. Just don't let anyone tell you it's not junk journaling because you've used something new in it. And to get existential on you, what defines junk anyway? I mean, like, if I saw a nice tag on some clothing that would otherwise be thrown away, and I go, oh, that's really nice, I'm going to keep that for my journal, does that make it not junk anymore because I've decided it's nice and I'm going to keep it? And the opposite of that, if I come across some stickers in my craft room that I purchased and I look at them now and go, oh, those are really ugly, I hate those, why did I buy them, and want to get rid of them, like, I would argue that to me, those stickers are more junk than that clothing label. So when someone is being super strict about putting junk in their junk journal, the term junk is subjective anyway. You know, one person's junk is another person's treasure. So I hope I'm not coming across as too negative or preachy. I'm just really passionate about people being able to create without anyone telling them or them worrying about what their creation is and is not. To me, junk journaling is a mix of using the new things and the things that I find in old book pages and old ephemera, but also some new things that I found, and maybe putting a little bit of paint and doing some artwork in it. And just, for me, junk journaling is, it's about that mix of things and feeling so much freedom to create whatever, whether it has a vintage aesthetic or not, it doesn't matter. That's what junk journaling is to me, and that may not be what it is to you, and that's okay. So let's talk about writing. Caveat being, of course, as I said before, you don't have to write, but many people do want to, so I'm going to talk about it. So if you struggle to write in your junk journal because either you can't think of anything to write, or maybe because you hate your handwriting, which I hear a lot from people, or both, a way to encourage you to write in your journal, or at least a way that encourages me, is to find the joy in writing. To find that something that makes it enjoyable and not a chore to do. For me, that's using fountain pens, and I am aware that on screen just now I was using a ballpoint, but that's because I was writing on vellum and that would have been difficult with a fountain pen, but that's by the by. Obviously, fountain pens are not for everyone, but for me, it's the joy and the tactile experience of filling a pen with a beautiful bottled ink and the feeling of the nib on the paper, and the writing is just a very special experience. But as I said, that's how I find the joy in writing. There are many other ways. It could be using a pen that was a special gift, or it was really expensive, or you just like the way it looks or the colour of it, or it's got glitter on it, or whatever. You could also write in your favourite colour or lots of different colours. And if you really truly hate your handwriting, and I promise you it's better than you think it is, well, unless you're a doctor, but for most people it's better than you think it is, you can always type your journaling out. And you don't have to have an Instagram worthy vintage typewriter for that. Just bash it out on Word or Apple Pages or whatever. Choose a font you really like, print it out, and stick it in your journal. On the subject of what to write in your journal, I have many suggestions. Obviously, I should mention the Junk Journal July prompt list, which prompts both the writing and the general page ideas and spread ideas. And if you search around on social media, there are often many prompt lists out there, either monthly ones like Junk Journal July or thematic ones like seasonal and things like that. The most obvious things to journal about are events, you know, journaling about your day or something that happened, something that's linked to the photo you're putting in your journal. Like here, I'm adding some pictures of my garden, and I'm going to add some journaling about the garden in general, and then also something that's specifically related to one of the pictures that I'm putting in. But some other ideas and things that I journal about are current affairs, what's in the news. I might take a screenshot from a news website or something if it's particularly interesting or important. Like 2020, quite a lot went down, as we all know, and I journaled a lot about that for posterity purposes. You know, I might look back in the journal 10, 20 years and be like, oh my goodness, yeah, remember that? So that's something. Pets, for me, it's my cat and all the shenanigans he gets up to. I write about my passions and hobbies. I often journal about my fountain pens, for example. Charitable donations, like if you sponsor an animal at a zoo, or if your friend is doing a charity run and you've donated, you can journal about that. You journal about books and film and TV, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a review of something you've watched or read. It can be, well, as an example, I recently journaled about a book series I love that is being made into a TV show, and I journaled about the casting of the characters and what actors they had chosen for the characters, and that was a spread I actually really enjoyed doing. Your favourite shops is another one. I often journal about small business purchases because small business is something I'm passionate about. Health and beauty, maybe a new prescription, or for me, I am starting the curly girl method for my hair, so I'm definitely going to be journaling about that. your favourite shoes and clothes, maybe, and even what your friends and your family are up to. Like my sisters might put a picture of one of my nieces or nephews doing something, or doing something funny, or doing something important, or passing their exams or whatever, and I will probably put that in my journal as well, because for me, my journal is about me, but it's also about my family and the people I love as well. So I like to put those things in there as well. And if I sat down more, I could sat down and thought about it some more, I'd probably come up with some other ideas. But I think that'll get you started at least. And then there are the times when you feel like writing, or you want some writing on your page for aesthetic reasons, but you don't want to think too hard about what you're going to write, or you don't have the energy to think about it. In those situations, which happen to me quite a lot, as my regular viewers will know, I will instead write things like verses of poetry or song lyrics. You could add like a passage from a book, or a speech from a movie. A quote is an obvious one. Some other ideas I had but haven't actually done myself are things like you could write about historical things, maybe, like just, from a encyclopedia or Wikipedia article about a historical event or something that you find interesting. Maybe some true crime is something I think I'm going to put in mind, because I love me a true crime podcast, listen to them all day. Even facts, like if someone told you a fun fact that day that you thought was really interesting, I feel like that could work as well. So there's so many options for things that you could put in. You can sound off in the comments if you have some more ideas that you'd like to add to that. So I was also going to talk about in this video ideas of things to journal with, like things to keep, things that you might otherwise throw away, that you might not think about using in your journal, but I have unfortunately run out of time. So I may make a separate video with all of those ideas. If you would like to see that video, then let me know in the comments and I will make a separate video about that. But for now, we have run out of time. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it and that you are enjoying the hop in general. Remember to follow the link in the description box to the next person in the hop, who is Helen from Journal with Purpose, who I'm sure most of you are familiar with. A big, huge thank you to Meg at Meg Journals for inviting me to take part in this hop. I was really honoured to be invited. There's some really sort of big junk journaler, YouTubers, well-known people out there, so to be included in that lot is just really touching and amazing. And yes, so that is going to be it from me. All the links of all the things I've talked about, the hop and the prompts of Junk Journal July and all those things, will be in the description box. Remember to go check those out. As I said, let me know if you have anything to add to the ideas I mentioned and what you think about some of the other things I've said, and also if you'd like to see that separate video on ideas and things to journal with, though I'm sure in this hop there's been lots of that already, lots of wonderful ideas and tips. But anyway, no, I need to shut up now. Thank you so much again. Bye bye!